Imagine sitting in a quiet place. No one around, no noise, no messages, no appointments. Just you and yourself. Then you ask a simple question. Why don't I feel at peace? Why, despite everything I have, does it still feel like something's missing? Like something's pulling me inward, as if there's an endless war deep inside me. My friend, maybe the problem isn't what's happening around you, but what you're carrying within you. Small habits that seem insignificant but drain your energy day after day. Like watering a poisonous plant without realizing it, then complaining about its suffocating shadow. This isn't a call for loud, dramatic change or a temporary motivational scream. It's a gentle, quiet invitation to sit with yourself and ask, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to silence? Not out of escape, but to protect my inner peace. I'll now share 9 habits. If you quietly let them go, you won't become perfect, but you'll get closer to that rare state everyone seeks. True calm. 1. The need to voice your opinion on everything. Picture this. You're with friends discussing a topic that doesn't concern you much or one you know little about, yet you feel an urge to respond, to comment, to assert your opinion, not because you have something valuable to say, but because you can't bear the silence. Here's the problem, my friend. Humans naturally crave control, and one of the easiest ways to feel in control is to talk about everything. To insert yourself into every discussion, even if it's just to show off or be polite. The more you talk, the more it reveals your anxiety about silence, as if silence exposes a weakness you don't want seen. The philosopher Epictetus said, "The fool speaks, the wise listen." The wise know that every word you say exposes you, holds you accountable, while silence protects you, keeps you free. This isn't just philosophy. Psychology notes that people who constantly talk often suffer from hidden social anxiety. They talk to mask their inner uncertainty, their low self-worth. The issue isn't the opinion, it's the compulsive need to prove yourself through it. Example: a friend shares their grief over losing a parent. Instead of just listening, you start recounting similar stories, not to comfort them, but because you haven't learned to just be present. The need to opine, even in grief, isn't always empathy. Sometimes it's selfishness wrapped in kindness. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote his thoughts in a private journal, never publishing them. He often reminded himself, "Be slow to speak, quick to understand." Do you know the beautiful effect of silence? You start noticing your own thoughts. You realize, not everything I think deserves to be said. Thoughts that don't pass the silence filter are often too immature to voice. Try this. Next time you feel the urge to speak just to fill space, take a deep breath and ask, will what I'm about to say truly help? 2. The silent grudges you feed. Have you ever smiled at someone while boiling inside? You chat politely, but deep down you keep a mental file of every wrong they've done, big or small. The problem? You're not punishing them, you're slowly poisoning yourself. Neuroscience shows the brain doesn't distinguish much between what you vividly remember and what's actually happening. When you replay a painful memory, your body releases the same stress hormones. Cortisol, elevated blood pressure, racing heart, as if the event were occurring now. Imagine reliving this daily. You're torturing yourself over an unchangeable past, mistaking it for justice. Seneca said, "Anger is a fire that burns only the one who holds it." Resentment doesn't punish the person who hurt you. It punishes you. It clouds your day, taints your intentions, and tricks you into false strength. I haven't forgotten, so I'm powerful. Real strength? Remembering without letting it live in you. A parable. A man carried a heavy stone daily, believing dropping it would betray the dead. Eventually he collapsed, not from grief but exhaustion. The lesson: what you carry doesn't honor anyone, it destroys you. Sometimes we don't heal not because the wound is deep, but because we keep picking at it. You tell yourself, I'm fine, I just don't like them. But the truth? You're not fine. Your hatred occupies your mind more than they occupy theirs. They're free. Maybe they've forgotten you while you chew on bitterness that never satisfies. Forgive yourself. 3. Stop over-apologizing to yourself. There's something dangerously subtle many of us do unconsciously. We punish ourselves. We replay self-critical scripts in our heads. I should have been stronger. If only I'd acted differently. Mistaking this mental self-flagellation for growth. But here's the truth. This isn't maturity. It's slow soul suicide. You are not your mistakes. You are not your flaws. You are not the worst thing you've ever done in a weak moment. Every person has chapters they wish they could erase, but you don't have to hate yourself for them. The danger: when you refuse to forgive yourself, you become trapped in an old version of who you were, forgetting that humans evolve. Each time you say, I'm terrible because I did X, you freeze your identity in that moment, denying yourself the right to grow. Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you fail, don't wallow. Return to the path as if you never strayed. Stoicism isn't about ignoring errors, it's about refusing to be imprisoned by them. Modern psychology agrees you don't change through self-hatred, but through self-compassion. Excessive guilt doesn't motivate, it creates a toxic identity. The belief you're too broken to deserve growth. And this shadow follows every decision, making you crueler to yourself than any enemy ever could. Hear this clearly. You are not the version of you that messed up. You are the one who learned, who ached, who began to understand. Forgiving yourself isn't excusing the past. It's refusing to let an unchangeable past steal the future you can build. 4th, stop living for others' expectations. Ever wake up feeling like your day doesn't belong to you? Like you're acting out a role written by others? You move, dress, laugh, but none of it feels yours. The line between being kind and living as a doormat is thin. The desire to be loved, accepted, or enough can morph into a mental prison. You abandon what you love, suppress your instincts, and one day wake up middle-aged, wondering, did I choose this life? Or did I inherit it from others' hopes? Seneca warned, those who live by others' expectations will die without ever meeting themselves. This isn't poetry, it's reality. If you're not careful, you'll spend your best years serving others' visions of you instead of crafting your own. Psychology calls this the false self, adopting opinions, careers, even relationships to fit in while your true self suffocates. This split exhausts you because you're always in the middle. Never fully honest with others, never fully true to yourself. A story. A man in his 30s, outwardly successful, confessed, I've never chosen anything, not my degree, my job, not even my marriage. I just didn't want to disappoint anyone. Imagine living entire decades just to avoid inconveniencing others, while inconveniencing your soul every second. Stoicism doesn't say, be selfish. It says, you can't give the world anything real if you aren't real yourself. Ask yourself, if no one were watching, who would I be? Stop talking about your plans. How often have you excitedly shared a goal, a diet, a book, a business idea, only to lose motivation afterward? There's a sneaky illusion at play. Talking about dreams tricks your brain into feeling you've already achieved them. Research shows the brain struggles to distinguish between actual progress and the emotional high of describing it. When you share an idea and get praise, you get a dopamine hit, like you've already succeeded, sapping the drive to actually begin. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't talk about virtue, live it." You don't build a body by discussing workouts or gain wisdom by lecturing about growth. A fable. A farmer planted seeds but spent every day at the market describing his future harvest, forgetting to water them. Months later, he had barren land and a mouthful of empty words. The Stoic doesn't announce actions, they surprise with results. Real achievement is quiet, like roots underground, unseen, but what builds the tree. 6. Don't carry emotions that aren't yours. Ever felt inexplicably sad, angry, or drained, then realized it wasn't yours? We're emotional sponges. A friend's anxiety, a parent's grief, a co-worker's rage, these can cling to you like dust, leaving you moody and confused. Epictetus said, "Don't let others' pain invade your heart uninvited. You are not a dumping ground for their struggles." Psychology confirms emotional contagion. Just being near a stressed person spikes your cortisol. You might snap at someone, withdraw, or feel exhausted. Not because you chose to, but because you've absorbed energy that wasn't yours to hold. A metaphor. A man carried a sack of stones saying, "These aren't rocks. They're my friend's problems." Over time, he forgot how light life felt before he volunteered to carry them. The issue isn't empathy, it's forgetting when to put the bag down. Ask, is this emotion mine, or did I borrow it? Final thought. The war inside peace doesn't come after battle. It comes when you declare, "Monum, I'm tired of fighting." The strongest people aren't those who shout, but those who choose not to engage. The quietest minds aren't empty. They're just no longer at war with themselves. Let go. Breathe and remember, you weren't designed to live in pieces.